Good afternoon, Wrestling Inc. Welcome back to the Wrestling Inc. Daily. It's me, your managing editor of WrestlingInc.com, Nick Hausman, joined here today to get it going this very special Tuesday, starting to fill the shoes of our good friend from Second City, Chicago, EJ Cameron, who is no longer with us. He is alive. He's just got a better job. It's our very good friend, Issa. Issa, welcome to the Wrestling Inc. Daily.
Hi, thank you for having me. So excited. I get to be here during daytime and at nighttime today. So come on.
Yeah, we got this. Is a great power. It's a Issa packed day of podcasting over here at Wrestling Inc. today. It's awesome.
It is. It is.
So we're gonna have a great time here today. We're gonna talk all the news the past 24 hours. A lot of build to WrestleMania stuff here in a little bit. At the end of the show for everybody, we're gonna dive in the mailbag. We're gonna look at AEW Revolution and WrestleMania. We're on the precipice of both. What's got you more excited? We're gonna talk about that. But of course, the chat room is open wherever you're at. YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it may be. You can also say nice things about Issa. Dino Garofalo, today is Issa, good day. Michael Thomas Banchuit, today is Issa, also good day. And whatever a duck race is. Do you do duck races? Is MCAS?
Yes,
what are we talking about?
I do. So sometimes when we have a battle royal or something that we need to predict a winner, I do a virtual duck race. You know, it's accurate. I also predict pay-per-views with a Magic 8-Ball. Subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Hey, I love it. I'm a big fan of duck races. You know, we do turtle races here in Chicago. That's a real thing.
Yes.
Believe it or not, this is my turtle racing championship shirt. I won this shirt because my turtle won the turtle race. What a weird world. Oh, Issa,
you're
there?
just freezing up on me a little bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're freezing up real bad right here on us right now. Issa, you okay?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us? Are you here with us?
Yes.
All right. Issa's here. Yes, we can see you. Yeah, you just cleared up there. For a second, you just became a big amorphous blob. It's fine. It happens from time to time. All right. Well, with that all taken out of the way, everybody seems to be piling into the room. Let's start talking about some news you can use, news that'll leave a bruise. We're going to start off with some fallout from Monday Night Raw last night. I'm going to flip the script here a little bit. I realize I probably should have put the second thing first. Let's call out the main event here. The big cherry on the top of Raw last night, the AJ Styles accepting of Edge's WrestleMania opportunity, I guess. We finally saw who was going to go up against Edge, and then Edge decided to lay out AJ Styles after offering the handshake, low blowing him, going full SmackDown, I guess, 2008, Crazy Man Edge. What'd you think of how this got set up, Issa?
I loved it. I thought this went from, first of all, I just want to say when WWE is on point, they're on point, right? Because you could have just completely lazy booked this match. We all want to see it. All you needed to do was hit AJ Styles music. And that's it. They could have just shake hands and the show could have ended and we would have been just as hyped. But you have such level, like the caliber of these two guys. I've been wanting to see this match since Edge came back and they had that moment inside the ring at the Royal Rumble. So I'm so excited. I love the twist here. And I mean, I think it went from we didn't know who Edge was fighting to probably one of the most interesting feuds in a matter of 5 minutes. It's great.
I agree with that, man. They did. They put a firecracker on it quick. And we were just talking yesterday on the show about how hard it is going to be to make interesting matches here with just 5 weeks of TV left, right? You know, we got whatever's going to happen at the Garden, and then it's full speed ahead. And I'm 100% with you. I'm glad they chose a direction. They went with it. And as I was watching it, I was like, is this really an Edge heel turn? But then he did the low blow, and I was like, oh, he's the bad guy now. And after years of just loving Edge, oh, we're so happy Edge is back. Oh, we never thought he'd wrestle again. Finally, we all get to hate Edge again. I'm really excited about that, Issa.
Yeah, and love AJ Styles again. I think I wasn't a big fan of the tag team run. I popped last night when Edge kind of like took a shot at that because I just like my AJ Styles in the singles division. So I'm super excited to just see the phenomenal AJ Styles once again. Very curious to see how this match actually goes. I'm very 50-50 on who's going to win.
Oh, who's going to win? I think we're all going to win, right? I mean, these guys are both well in their primes right now, right? I mean, all the light bulbs are going off. They know how to tell great stories in the ring. You know, you look at these two right now, and you kind of look at the rest of the card, and no offense to the women, there's some very compelling stories there. No offense to Brock and Roman. Sure, that seems to be built for a long time. But this is the match that I feel like is going to steal WrestleMania weekend. Edge has no problem stealing the show as of late. He's done it on a pretty consistent basis.
Yes, and I agree with you. I feel so hyped for this match. I felt like Batista last night when Edge was waiting. We're just waiting for the music to hit. I was like, give me what I want. You know, I will say one thing. If it's a hair match, if the winner is going to be based on hair, AJ Styles wins.
Well, of course, he is a beautiful man. He's got beautiful locks. And Edge, he doesn't wash his hair. Like, I remember he did an interview. He did an interview. This was like years ago where he was talking about his heel run in SmackDown when he was with Vicky, and he's like, I wanted to look like a crazy person, so I just stopped bathing, right? So I looked insane. Oh, what fun to roll around the ring with that guy. So also on Raw, we saw another big heel turn as Finn Balor won the U.S. title from Damian Priest. After the match, it looked like there was going to be maybe a moment, but Priest decided to lay in with a promo there, and then, you know, we've got an attack. So Damian Priest also turning heel, and also in the third hour. I like both of these, but it was interesting they were just so close to each other, right?
Yes, I agree. I was actually thinking when I finished watching Raw last night, I was like, wow, so this show felt in-ring wise entertaining the first 2 hours, but all the must-see came on that final hour. Everything else, solid matches, but nothing that I would tell you sit down and watch Raw right now. And then those last 40 minutes of Monday Night Raw was must-watch television. I love this heel turn for Priest. I've been wanting him to turn heel ever since they started messing with the character and giving him a new gimmick. I needed them to kind of like do something with it. And I thought it was executed very well. I thought he had a pretty good United States title reign. I'm very biased because I'm Puerto Rican, so of course I didn't want it to end. But I thought this was a perfect way to go ahead and do it. And we'll see where the full-blown Damian side of Damian goes now. Are we going to see Finn Balor bring out the demon? Is this going to be all evilness? I'm excited.
Yeah, Dino Garofalo here saying Finn should be the demon. We get Damian versus the demon then. Nice little play on words there at WrestleMania. Same thing, you know, hey, we got to get something going here. Just have him clock him, right? Let's speak with actions here. You know, there's a little bit of promo work involved, but this is people becoming heels through violence, and I really like that. You don't get to see
always. I wake up in the morning and I choose violence, so of course I loved it.
Then the heel from day one, from the moment you wake up, Issa choosing violence and healing. It was just very well done. I agree with you. Nice to see them like actually using the talent they have. You know, we continue to hear Steve Austin in the rings. Oh, it's a terrier. Do we have a terrier in the house? Right now?
We have a Yorkie, a little yapper in the background.
Terrier. But yeah, I thought I just thought it was nice. They're using talent from the roster here, making them the kind of compelling pieces going in with Steve Austin, the wings, Cody Rhodes. It's all very exciting, but we needed a little bit more going to the stew right now with the pieces they've already got in play. So.
Yeah, last night Monday Night Raw ended, and it finally felt like we're on the road to WrestleMania, right? Like like when Monday Night Raw ended, I felt the most excited about WrestleMania season than I did when the Royal Rumble ended. That goes to tell you something.
I agree. There's just, and you know, the thing about Edge and AJ Styles is it really just it's one of those things that makes everybody happy, right? Like the hardcore fans want to see this match. The casual fans can think it's cool. You've got Edge involved who carries some cachet. It's really just a win for everybody. So very well done. Randy Orton looked like he suffered a shoulder injury from a frog splash from Montez Ford. Ford put out a message after the show noting everyone was healthy. We actually got a Fightful report just before we went on the air here not long ago saying Orton is still kind of being looked at, kind of had the wind knocked out of him, maybe some rib issues. I think they said it was maybe a stinger or something like that. So something to keep an eye on, but maybe won't take Randy out of the WrestleMania picture, which is good to hear.
Yeah, hopefully, he's okay and he's not going to miss WrestleMania. We already are going to be short of Bobby Lashley, and there's nothing that you hate to see more than an injury at any time, let alone WrestleMania season, especially with all the work that Randy has been doing as of recently, even throughout the pandemic era. He's just been so fantastic. And I think this is actually one of the longest runs that he actually hasn't had to take time off due to an injury. So that being said, the last time they went to Dallas, remember how many people got injured? I'm starting to feel there's something about Dallas. There's something about Dallas. Maybe Kevin Owens is onto something.
Maybe. KO. I'm enjoying him and Seth Rollins here. It's goofy. It's fun. I I'm enjoying what they're doing right now. And I felt bad for Randy here, man. He looked like he was in genuine pain. And they were like trying to pull out his leg. And he was like, no, stop.
I know. And I know that he's made some interviews talking about, kind of like wrestling a little banged up. He's been doing this for a long time. So, I mean, hopefully he's okay. I am a big fan of Randy Orton, and he definitely deserves to be at WrestleMania, whether it is in a tag team with RK Bro because they are so over, or whether they want to break our hearts and break them up and put them in a one-on-one match.
I gotta feel it's the latter. I gotta feel like Randy's gonna lay out Riddle next because it's all been culminated.
I know. I want Riddle to be the one that turns, Nick. I want Riddle to turn on Randy. So it would be so unexpected.
It would, it would. And I'm not gonna say I'm against it, right? You know what? Honestly, I maybe spoke too soon. I actually kind of feel like I want to see Riddle turn heel too. So
yeah.
It does feel like next week though is what we're culminating to with the 3 tag teams kind of getting together. We've already seen RK Bro have the titles. We've kind of seen them have their rematch. We're going to run them out there one more time just to get them in there. And we're 4 weeks out. And I think that's where they pull the trigger, whether it's Riddle or Randy. I feel like one of them's going to do it next week.
Yeah, I agree with you. And while we're on the, subject of tag teams, Alpha Academy is also doing amazing work. I know a lot of people like to say that the tag team division is, maybe it's not very broad, but I do think all 3 of these tag teams that are fighting for the title next week are doing the best work right now.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Chad Gable, the shoosh thing. Now, here's the thing about the shoosh thing, all right? I love the shoosh thing. I thought the shoosh thing that he did with Kevin Owens in the ring during the whole whatever the KO shit thing was fun. The thing about that is you would never in a million years see that gimmick refined in AEW. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but nobody would have forced Chad into that and have him do it as much as he has done to the point that it is now successful. Just an observation.
Yeah, and the way he pulls it off. No normal human beings do that in a normal conversation, but when he does it, and probably the characters that he's playing against, I feel like everybody kind of helps the situation, because last night with Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, it was just hilarious. So I just want to give a shout out to all 3 of these tag teams. I have been enjoying their work right now. I think the Raw tag team division isn't as bad as people think it is.
Yeah, and I'll take James Jones here saying, wow, heel Riddle, that could work, but heel Randy's in beast mode. And here's the thing. Here's the reason I'll make a case for Randy being the one to turn. The last time he had a heel run, it was with The Fiend, and he has been on the record. Remember? And he's like, I didn't really know how to be a heel against somebody who was like a demonic killer maniac. It was a very difficult time for me. I'm sure this man
should have just brought a priest and done an exorcist.
Could have got Damian Priest, right? I know for a fact Damian Priest has a collection of skeletons skulls, not skeletons, skulls. He's a genuine skull collector. So
doesn't Baron Corbin does too? Do you think they sit down and compare their skull collections?
Issa, you may be hovering in on a question I've been waiting to ask either of them when I get a chance to talk to them, because do I want to know if Baron Corbin and Damian Priest hang out, eat steaks, and talk about their skull collection? Yeah, I do. I want to know that. I'm interested. Anyway, Ciampa, he defeated Robert Roode. He was back on Raw. The big to-do was that he had new theme music that went all over social media. He took to Instagram and he said, personally, I like the new theme music, right? Everybody dies. That's a downer, right? This new one's like, I got to survive or something like that. And it's more positive, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly think it's been so nice to just see the interaction between Monday Night Raw and NXT as of recently, that I honestly didn't pay much attention to the whole change of the song until social media kind of had a fit about it. Like, I'm telling you, I'm excited to see him on Raw. I think he looks like he belongs, which is great in case they do call him up. The next thing I know, after the segment is over and I open social media and everybody's having a fit about it, and I'm like, oh, it didn't even hit me, because I was just happy to see Ciampa here.
I'm with you. I also didn't really notice until after the show, and I saw the social media stuff. But then today, I was like watching the replay, and I'm like, all right, now I'm noticing it. And then I went and I listened to the original theme song. I was like, yeah, OG Ciampa song is like 10 times better than what I'm listening to on Monday Night Raw now. Just another case of Vince feeling the need to put his fingerprints on something is what I get the vibe this is, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, I hope they don't tweak him too much more, because like the fact that he's made it this far, like he's 3 weeks in and he's getting a win and he's working well, he's getting to show some fire. That bodes well. Not most NXT talent got to do that, you know.
Right. But I am enjoying what he's doing, and I'm enjoying Dolph Ziggler in NXT as well. I enjoy Riddle going down there with MSK. I enjoyed the AJ Styles, Grayson Waller stuff, and this is also really stepping up. I think Ziggler just seems like such a huge star in NXT, which, you know, for what he was doing in Monday Night Raw, I think this helps everybody.
Well, after that ass kicking you got by Omos, I'm pretty sure we're going to see T-Bar back in NXT not too long.
Oh, man.
I'm just saying, that is Dominic Dijakovic. That man had bangers in NXT, and he is out there now with the word tyrant on his butt, getting slapped around. Omos for the Andre title win this year, right? That's like the whole thing, isn't that?
God, given? I hope not. Listen, I'm not a big Omos fan, and I'm with you on the T-Bar stuff. I remember he had 2 bangers against Damian Priest for the United States title. Remember those matches? That was just recently, and now,
yeah, his stuff with Keith Lee. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Lastly, here, and it's not really a Raw note; it's like a non-Raw note. But yeah, Cody put out this Instagram stories yesterday with some lyrics from Bob Seger. Turn the page, right? And everybody got all excited. Maybe Cody's going to be on Raw, and then no Cody on Raw. How do you feel about the continued Cody tease that is not coming to fruition?
I just want to understand why people are still trying to report stories based on his Instagram story. I just said story twice, but it's like, remember St. Louis weekend? He was tweeting, look, I'm in St. Louis. Like, Cody is the biggest Instagram troll there is. Do not use his Instagram to base your information on. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, I think about it. Social media is like your biggest marketing tool when you're your own brand. And that's what he's a free agent. He's got to do what he's got to do. So I give him props on his game, but we need to not fall for it.
I want, because like the Garden shows this weekend, I don't know if you have him replace Lashley to go up against Lesnar. That seems like, I mean, I was sitting there on my couch earlier and I was like, do you have Cody win the title and just like all hell breaks loose? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But I feel like you could maybe trot him out there and have him do something in the Garden. I don't know.
No, with the buzz that we have going on right now with Cody, you announce it. You haven't come out on Raw and announced the match, at least, I would assume.
All right.
Because this show doesn't have a lot of tickets sold. That's the reason why they added Brock to it. Brock wasn't on the original card for this show. So if you're looking to sell tickets, I would have had him come out at Raw then, if that's going to be the person. I think it's going to be a Seth Rollins or a Riddle.
I wonder if we are not going to get the tease all the way through Mania, and it's not the Raw after Mania where he finally comes out. I'm starting to get
That's what I was thinking.
But I mean, there was all that smoke with Dave and other outlets being like, hey, yeah, well, Vince loves Cody. He wants to get the most out of it. He wants to capitalize on this momentum. And so I don't know, but I feel like if we don't get something by next week, I don't know that we're going to get anything until like after Mania, if ever. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with you. Nobody really knows the in and outs of this situation fully. I feel like everybody's just piecing together the pieces that they have, you know? So we'll see. But if you don't have anything by next week, like you said, the momentum will die down. So also Raw after Mania, just bring it right back up by debuting him. But I was hoping that if these rumors are true, we will see him at WrestleMania. Why not? You have 2 nights. We're just talking about selling tickets. 2 nights, 100,000 seats to sell. I think Cody will help with that if you put him in an interesting program.
I like Esteban here saying you don't just trot out a Cody. You don't just trot out a Cody. Cody only rises like a phoenix. He does not trot.
That's deep.
Oh, man, I'm thinking too hard. I haven't even started smoking yet today, guys. Come on, give me a break.
I haven't even had my first cocktail yet.
So, anyway, the only reason I bring up the MSG thing is just, you know, I feel like something's going to happen there. I don't know if you want to just create something organic, like Cody comes out, he's like, I'll see y'all Monday, right? And just drops the mic, and everyone's like spreading all this social media video around of, oh my God, Cody just crashed the MSG show. something like that. It seems kind of avant. But there's a Paul Heyman.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're doing this because I am in Puerto Rico right now, and this is gonna be one of the very few shows that I miss in MSG. So I feel like you're just doing this to make me mad and make me want to take a flight to freaking New York just to be there.
there was an interview Paul Heyman did like a month and a half ago, and I remember getting the transcript for it, and it was him promoting like a house show, and I don't want to say Allentown, but some small town. And he was like, well, you got to come to these live events because like WrestleMania this year is so in the open. And if you want to get some buzz going, like doing a title change at a house show, that's how you get it going. And that article did surprisingly well. People were really eating that up. And, hey, Paul says things. Sometimes they're nothing. Sometimes he's throwing little breadcrumbs out there. Is Paul saying something's going to happen, at a house show here on the way to WrestleMania to start some organic social buzz? I'm just speculating. Broad speculation.
Yeah, and I'm with you. Paul is also a good promoter that knows that maybe the house shows end of things is not selling so well. So why not say a couple of things that will make people want to go to these shows?
Yeah. Well,
it's a business,
Well, we have an update here from the Observer about Johnny Gargano. For anybody wondering if he's going to be with AEW since he put out his indie booking contact info, they're saying that don't expect him to be with an AEW within the next month at the very least. We will likely see Jeff Hardy, Isaiah Swerve, a.k.a. Swerve the Realist, coming in as well, but no Johnny Gargano right away, it sounds like.
Well, that's interesting. I would assume they will be interested in him, but we'll see. We'll see where he goes. There was a part of me that was thinking he's just taking time off and he's gonna go right back to NXT, but maybe it's just the nostalgia person in me.
I really think a lot of fans discredit like how much money some of these people have made and have beaten themselves up. Like Cesaro makes a lot of sense for AEW, right? And he's a free agent. He could show up there whenever they're live next. I don't know if tomorrow night's live, Dynamite. He could be there tomorrow night. Who knows? But he's also made a ton of money. He was with WWE for 11 years, main roster. You get those residual checks on action figures and video games and stuff. I don't know that I'd be jumping back in. Maybe take a couple months for yourself. I don't know.
Right. Agreed. I hope that wherever Cesaro goes, he deserves the world. So.
All right. Lastly here, unfortunate news. TMZ Sports with the latest updates here. Cain Velasquez, performer for WWE, had one match in Saudi Arabia against Brock Lesnar. He's been arrested and booked on attempted murder. There was a shooting near San Jose on Monday. The motive and the circumstances surrounding this incident are still under investigation, said the police. One man was taken to the hospital with 9 non-life-threatening injuries. Jail records show Velasquez still being held with no bond, and his mugshot is also now available to go check out. There is another thing I saw just before we went on the air. I believe this is another thing David just quote tweeted or something like that. It was a story about how the man Cain was shooting at may have been like abusing his son at like a school facility or something like that. I don't remember the age of the son. So maybe Cain was standing up for family. I don't want to spread false information here, but that was one thing I saw on social media that Dave said there was some smoke where there was some fire to that smoke. So we don't know the motive yet. For what it's worth, I've never met Cain. I know a lot of intermediaries with Cain. I've always heard Cain's a pretty cool guy. I've never heard him described as like a hothead or a murderer. So we'll find out more about this situation,
Yeah, it's unfortunate. No bond. I remember reading the headline, and just the first thing that I thought was, who the hell will just mess with Cain Velasquez? And are you safer with him pulling a gun? Because if he beats you up, it's probably more dangerous. Like, nothing to joke about. But I really hope that whatever it is, like we can't really speak about it. There's no details. We just know that he's arrested on no bond. I think there's a court date for it tomorrow. Yeah. So, we'll see when they release more details because obviously, nobody really knows what happened. But I have heard very positive things about Cain, just as yourself. So, never heard of him being hot-headed. He doesn't even come off that way. So we'll see, we'll see where it goes. But it is unfortunate.
Yeah. All right. Well, Issa, I want to thank you for joining me at the top show, talking all the news today. Thank you to everybody for jumping in the comment section. Keep it going here. We got a little ways to go here. at Wink Daily, WINC Daily. That's the account to follow if you want to vote in our daily poll to take part in the mailbag here. Today, as you say, like you said earlier, after Raw, you were more excited for WrestleMania than you've been on the entire road. I agree with you, Issa. And I wanted to compare where the energy is now between Mania and Revolution, which is going to be this Sunday. So I put up a poll. We got about 150 votes here. 61.1% of people said AEW Revolution. Only 38.9% said WrestleMania. Do you agree with the poll? Are you surprised by the poll? How do you feel?
I voted WrestleMania. I think there's more buzz around Revolution. It's been a long time since we've seen an AEW pay-per-view. They have built some good storylines. This is a solid card Revolution has going for itself. And, it is just this Saturday. So I can see people being more excited about that, where WrestleMania is still developing into what it will end up being, 5 weeks from now. So I can see it going both ways. I think right now nobody's thinking WrestleMania, everybody's thinking Revolution. It's this weekend.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Timing of the poll, very good point. Yeah. I think there's more. The people that vote on our polls, very hardcore, dedicated fans. I see that. I looked at the Observer Awards, and it's like WWE doesn't even exist anymore over in the Wrestling Observer Awards, right? So I think there's maybe a little bias there too. I'm with you. There are aspects of AEW Revolution I'm excited for. I think Punk and MJF is going to be really fun. I think that's going to be an absolute banger. But, I mean, you look Edge, AJ Styles. Wow. Brock, Roman. Yeah. Okay, I've seen it a couple times, but it's different.
No, not this version of them. I feel both of these guys are doing their best work right now. This version, I mean, Roman says it himself. He's on God mode. And title versus title, I don't know if it's an unification or not, because there's so much rumors going on right now that I don't know what's going on. I just still think that it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and, personally, my favorite thing going in wrestling right now, Sami Zayn, Johnny Knoxville. I laugh. I have fun. I'm scared for Johnny sometimes after he took that haluva kick. I was like, this man has a death wish.
Oh, my God. Same.
That was brutal. He ripped Johnny Knoxville's head off. I like how he did it, and then he got in Johnny's face. He's like, was it worse than the bull? Was it worse than the bull? Or something like that.
I know. We don't deserve Sami Zayn. I'm sorry. We don't.
Yeah. It was great. I love Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville.
You know what? It's funny because I worry for Johnny Knoxville, but at the same time, I've seen Jackass. This guy's been through worse. He will be okay.
I don't know. The thing with Johnny, and I talked about this a little bit earlier, but he got so beat up in this last movie, he almost died. He got dropped on his head. He got a big brain issue, and then to watch him get full on blasted in the face by Sami Zayn, size 12. Ugh. My God.
Yeah, painful. I know. I just hope that everything goes well.
All right. Well, hey, great show today, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for chiming in. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to be joined by, I think, Brian Wool. He had his wedding this past weekend. I don't think he took his honeymoon yet. So I think Brian will be back tomorrow. We'll find out.
Congratulations, Brian.
Yeah, be well, getting married. And also tomorrow, we're going to have the full audio and the podcast release of the show of Tony Khan's AEW media call. That's going down tomorrow afternoon. We'll have the full audio up on the YouTube channel shortly after with highlights over on the WrestlingInc.com main page. Support the Wrestling Inc. Daily on any podcast platform you like. Support WrestlingInc.com. Remember, our Twitter account has been pulled because we were falsely accused of sharing Olympic information, but we didn't do that. And while we sorted out with the Twitter mafiosa or whatever, you can go follow us over at WrestlingInc.com. That's the current Twitter handle to follow. And lastly, of course, come back here tonight. Issa, you're going to be part of the podcast here tonight, Wrestling Podcast?
Yes, I am. Alfred, Glenn, and myself will be talking all things NXT right here tonight.
What a trio. All right, we'll come back here tonight for the Wrestling Inc. Podcast. Issa, anything you want to put over here before we wrap up the show today?
No, everybody can go subscribe to my YouTube channel. NYC Demon Diva will be live over there in a little bit.
Awesome. And I am at Nick_Hausman over on Twitter. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And remember, if you winked,